Good morning, Texoma, and thanks for joining us. I'm Ashley Fitzwater, and this morning we're taking an inside look into Empty Bowls, Wichita Falls. And what this program really does is raises both money and awareness whenever it comes to the fight to end hunger. Joining me now with the very latest is the event co-chairs, both Paula Perkins and Leslie Schaffner. So thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
And it's so exciting because this is the second year for this event. And before we get too far ahead of ourselves, it was a big success last year, right?
It was. We were just overwhelmed with the response of the community. The restaurants were so generous coming out for the first time. The artists were wonderful in throwing over 1,000 bowls, and we had over 700 people at our first event.
Wow.
Through that, we were able to raise over $64,000, which meant many bowls were filled for the people in our community.
Because what happens with this money is that it's given to the food bank.
And the food bank has a tremendous opportunity to take every dollar that's donated and multiply it. So each dollar that was raised at Empty Bowls actually provides 3 meals for
Wow.
people in the 12-county service area that they work with.
That's amazing. You don't really think about how much of an impact just $1 really can have on our community.
Sure.
I love the name Empty Bowls, and really it has a big representation of hoping that no one in our community has to go home to an empty bowl, right?
Sure. Empty Bowls is an international grassroots effort. Several food banks have partnered with artist organizations, and together they have made the empty bowl a symbol of the fight against hunger. At the food bank, we were looking how to diversify our funding, and we researched events, came across this, and we knew it would be a terrific fit for our community.
What do you think is the biggest impact that this has? Because now we are a year into this. You saw how the money was actually put into our community and put into the food bank.
It benefits everyone who is linked to the food bank through the partner agencies and ultimately to the individuals who need the food. I think for us it has been a very humbling experience because it has shown us that no one in our community is immune from the possibility of being hungry. And you know, there's a saying through Feeding America that one in 6 are hungry, 5 in 6 can help. And I think Empty Bowls in our community allows those 5 and 6 to actually come out and make a tangible difference in the issue of hunger in our community.
I love it. And your chance to do that is coming up this Tuesday. Tell us a little bit
Sure.
about what we need to know.
Well, we are encouraging people to make those purchases early. Uniteds all over the community will have tickets, as will the Wichita Falls Museum of Art. And we're also directing people to our website, emptybowlswf.org. $35 for a great soup, bread, and dessert luncheon, and you get to leave with a handcrafted bowl.
Tell me the importance of that and really how that got started, because I love that Midwestern State University students helped to make that happen.
Right. It's not only MSU students, but also other artists in our community. MSU has made their ceramic studio available. When Paula and I got started on this journey, we went over and visited with Steve Hilton, who is the head of the ceramics department over there, and he had heard about Empty Bowls in other communities that he's been associated with, and he was quick to jump on board and said, absolutely, I think this would be great for our community. So he brought in some students, and then he brought in other artists in our community that he works with, and we have had great fun over there watching the professionals work, and they let us do things like make balls of clay and move the completed bowls from one table to the other, because that's about the extent of our talent. But it is really amazing to see this big can full of clay, trash can full of clay, and in a matter of a few hours and a couple of firings, they come out into these exquisite bowls that people last year, we had it all planned out that they would go in, they would dine, they would come out, they would select their bowl before they left. Oh no, people came in the indoor and immediately went out because they wanted their bowl right then. So yes, these bowls are very highly sought after, and people should come. I mean, it's truly something to get these bowls, and then also to enjoy the restaurants that bring their soups and provide them just specifically for this event for us at no charge. It's wonderful.
Sure. So how is that done? Whenever you walk in the door, what can I expect? Because you say that restaurants are there to provide this, so there's no extra additional cost for you guys to make food or bring food in. Do you kind of choose which one you go to, or is it a buffet?
You can sample one. You can sample over 24 that we have there. We have booths set up for each of the restaurants. You can go determine which soup you want by looking at your program and visit their particular gallery. A great variety. We've got several different vegan options this year. We are very excited about that. Anything that you can imagine, from taco soup up to delicacies such as pumpkin jalapeno or brisket chili. So very exciting.
We did have a complaint, though, last year, we have to admit, and the complaint was people got full before they got through all of the restaurants. So, you know, just come hungry and pace yourself. That's
I like that. That's a good problem to have.
It is.
Whenever you're talking about where this is going to be, and I know parking is always kind of a concern that needs to be addressed as well, can you tell us the location come Tuesday?
Sure. The actual event is at the Wichita Falls Museum of Art at MSU. That's number 2 Eureka Circle. But because of parking, we're asking attendees to park in the very easternmost lot of Sykes Center Mall. We will have trolleys, which will bring you directly to the door.
And it's Boss's Day. So, I mean, what a great opportunity. Buy a ticket for your boss and bring the whole office. You close down for lunch. Everybody would enjoy that. The event opens at 11 o'clock and goes until 1:30. It's come and go. And we are able to accommodate people in a regular lunch hour time frame.
Okay.
I mean, especially if you don't hit every restaurant through the
Sure.
museum. But you can get in and out in an hour. So if you are on a restricted timeline for lunch, you can still do empty bowls.
I like that. Don't let that stop you from
Right.
coming.
There is one more thing that we need to feature. We have a invitational ceramic exhibit. There are probably, I'd say, two dozen artists, folks from around here, in addition to artists nationwide who have sent in pieces. And these just showcase the beauty of a bowl. And they range from very small to wall hangings to very simple to very elaborate. They are for sale. Proceeds will benefit the food bank, and that will also be in a section of the museum that we want people to traipse through to look at as well.
So bring some extra money with you, right?
Yeah, and absolutely. And if you can't actually be at Empty Bowls that day, the exhibit will be up through the 19th of October, so you can stop by and look at it during regular museum hours.
I like that. Lots of chances to help out. And like I said, we're going to hear from members of the food bank and really just how important your dollar, any donation you can make is, and how far it really goes in our community and how many different areas it helps. Stick with us. Next time we need a quick break, we'll be right back with much more. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we're taking an inside look at Empty Bowls. That event, like we mentioned, kicks off this Tuesday afternoon. But joining me now with much more on the benefits of Empty Bowl is Mark McKeithen. He is Executive Director with the Wichita Falls Area Food Bank. And also Jessica Morath. She is the Nutrition Services Manager. And this position, fairly new to the food bank. And I love it. We're going to get more into that and really the role that you play coming up in just a bit. But Mark, I'd really just like to start with you. And, you know, this is the second year for Empty Bowls, but can you just tell us how much of a difference is this program making in what you do every day?
It's making a huge difference. Empty Bowls has filled a gap in our fundraising that has allowed us to provide 150,000 meals in the community. We provide about 2.7 million meals a year. Through our distribution this year, we're projecting to provide about 3 million meals. So the meal count is really huge. The meal gap is even bigger. If we were filling hunger completely in our community, we'd be doing about 9 million meals.
Wow.
But we're just not quite there yet. But we're working in that direction. That's where we hope to be. And when you have a program like Empty Bowls come in and can fill that gap with just the excellent work that the team, the steering committee, Paula, Leslie have done, it makes a huge difference and puts a huge dent in the hunger gap that we do have.
Absolutely. Whenever it comes to who all you service, I think it's important to mention that it's 12 counties. It's not just Wichita County or Wichita Falls. And you have about 200 or more than 200 different partners. Is that correct?
We have 200 partners in that we have 200 agencies and programs. For example, the Boys and Girls Clubs, we have the Kid Cafe program where they're provided a hot meal at the end of the day. And in schools, we provide Power Packs for kids. Then we work with our agencies in providing food to them. We have a senior brown bag program where we provide food for seniors. So yeah, we have several different foods along with our reclamation process that salvages food from the grocery stores.
The goal here is, of course, to get food to families, and it still is, but I love how you're taking it even farther. Can you talk about that mission and how it's growing?
Absolutely. We have expanded our mission to include not only providing food, but providing advocacy and to provide education. And that's one of the reasons that we have brought Jessica on as our dietitian. We feel that it's not enough to just provide food. We want to provide food that is healthy for the community. This year, the proceeds from Empty Bowls are going to be used almost exclusively to provide produce, which is something that has been very, very severely lacking in our distribution.
And I think nationwide there's a lack of adequate consumption of fruits and vegetables, but we know those things are so important to a diet and to a healthy diet, and eating foods that are highly processed and high in sugar and fats, which are quite honestly the cheaper foods, can contribute to chronic diseases later in life. So if we increase access to fruits and vegetables, then we're more likely to improve the diets. But then with that increased access and with the increased produce, having the truck now, then we're going to incorporate nutrition education to go with that. So rather than just giving people produce, teaching them how to use it through recipes, cooking demonstrations, including fact sheets about what they're getting, so they're not just getting it and tossing it in a way so they know what to do with it.
How are you going to be doing that? Is it going to be classes there at the food bank? Are you going out to different areas?
It'll be more going out to the different areas. So say our Produce Express truck comes to a certain food pantry, then I can be there at that food site and have the recipes, have cooking demonstrations, be there so the clients can talk to me, but then also having cooking classes for these agencies that can be at the specific agencies that the clients can sign up for.
I like that. It sounds like you're making it fun. I mean, you're making it hands-on, interactive. Do you find as a nutritionist that's the biggest maybe obstacle you have to come against? Because, you know, people think, oh, well, the other stuff, it may not be as good for me, but it's quick, it's easy, it's no mess, no fuss, you know. But if you're making it fun and showing them recipes, sounds like a win-win.
Yeah, it's definitely a better situation than forcing people to do anything, and providing education that they can take part in and can interact with. That is always a better option.
What about for the children, too? Because, you know, we hear a lot about obesity and wanting them to learn to eat right. Do you find that to be maybe a big focus, too? Because if you're teaching them young to eat right, do you hope it'll stick with them?
Yes. In the summer, we had a program at the Boys and Girls Club that I did, and that's what I did. I brought food, different food samples, and they even prepared food there, and it was so amazing to see these kids just be able to try food, and it wasn't ever forcing them to eat it. They could try it with, you know, their eyes, their nose, like all different senses, but that they would eat these different things. I mean, even if their peers were or were not doing it, and they would go home and take that to their families.
What do you think is the best part about being linked to the food bank for you personally?
Personally, it's the community aspect of it, because there's a large population in our community that are hungry, that we've already discussed, and these are the exact people that don't have access to nutrition services. So being able to incorporate, you know, improved nutrition on a low-income budget and having access to that has been very beneficial.
I love that. Is this just such a neat part, you think, for adding to our community?
It is absolutely one of the most exciting things that has happened, and we've been truly blessed this year in that Jessica arrived on the scene and was able to help us expedite our nutrition services program just through sheer persistence. And in bringing her on, she was critical in helping us obtain the truck and writing the program that helped us obtain the truck. That's going to make all this possible. You know, it's funny. She's in the kitchen and she's preparing hummus, and I'm like, kids are not going to eat hummus, and she comes back and says they loved it. You know, they absolutely loved it, and these are children that would never have tasted hummus or something like that before. We're really interested in improving the overall health of the community, and the only way we can do that is through nutrition education.
Hopefully some life-changing lessons here. Maybe hopefully even start changing some of the adults' minds too, right? Like hummus can be good. Yeah. Maybe find a good recipe. We'll have to get with her for that. Well, we appreciate the insight to this, and we just look forward to learning so much more about what the food bank is doing for our community, and we'll of course have to be checking back in with you as well. So thank you both for being here today, and we are not done hearing about Empty Bowls and how it's changing our community. So stick around, Texoma. We need a quick break, but we'll be right back with much more. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we are talking about Empty Bowls and this event that is kicking off on Tuesday and how it's benefiting so many right here in our community whenever it comes to the fight against hunger. Joining me now with much more is Mr. Mike Wells, Sr. He is the pastor out at Holiday Assembly of God Church. So we appreciate you being here with us this morning.
Glad to be here.
And your role whenever it comes to all of this is Harvest Food Ministry. And, you know, I just would like to have you share a little bit more about this food ministry. It started, I understand, just from a pastor's vision of wanting to help the community right there in your church, and it has just really taken off.
Well, actually, we had some more people came in and had a vision that people needed some food. So we started about 2010 out of the back room of a little church there in Holiday. And we didn't advertise. We just got food and that we picked up through the food bank. And the first month, I believe we had around 25 to 30 families. And that was in 2010. Just this past week, in 3 hours, we passed out 107 boxes of food to families. We average close to 400 people every month. Wow. So it's grown from that to this, and it continues to grow. And out of the little church, we've been able to buy some property, build a 3,200 square foot building, and just trying to meet the needs of the people. Our mission statement there is feeding the hungry and offering hope in troubled times. And so we hope that they can see somewhere they can get some help, and we get to be a part of that.
Did you think that it would be what it is today, this food ministry, you know, back in 2010 when it started?
No, ma'am. I mean, we had 15 people coming to our church, and so we didn't really give it a whole lot of thought about how fast this would grow and what it would lead up to. And financially, we weren't able to do nothing, but the Lord has always made a way. He's really continues to show us to be faithful to Him, and He'll show us great, mighty things, and we get to be a part of that. So it's a team effort, and God blesses everybody that's a part of that, I know.
I love how you say it's a team effort, and really how people have come together, because you said other churches in the community have now gotten on board. I mean, it's not just one denomination thing anymore. It's people teaming up to make a difference and an impact, right?
Yes, ma'am. That's another thing that I've always prayed about, that we could get all of our churches in the area to come together and focus on a vision that God's, what He's called us, commissioned us to do. And I'm very thankful for that. I have every pastor in the local area on our advisory board. They all support, they all pitch in, they all carry out stuff, bring stuff. It just gets an excitement in the air when you just come over and be a part of what takes place.
Can you tell me a little bit about how this food ministry is run?
We actually start at 2 o'clock on the fourth Thursday. We've always just kind of done that by faith. We don't always know people's circumstances. They may have diagnosed with cancer, they might have had a wreck, lost their job. So we don't really do a background check. We actually just have them come in, sign up how many's in their family, their age group, so we can keep record of that. Drive around back, we put a box of food in their car and send them on their way. We try to take all the pressure off, because so many people come there that will tell me, I've never had to do this before. There's people that come to our house. We live behind the Harvest Food Ministry building. We do 24/7 emergency boxes anytime. And some people just, their pride will keep them from coming on that day. We're there to help them, and we're not there to make them feel ashamed. We're just there to try to minister to their family and give them some hope.
Providing just a true service to your community. What has been the response? I mean, have you heard stories from people about how this has maybe touched them or made them now want to get involved and give because they see what you're doing?
Sure. The school has got on board, PTO, the ladies and folks there. we started a summer program. They came over and fixed sack lunches for kids out of school in the summer. They delivered that to them. Our first month, we had 40 kids signed up. And a lot of times I'll sit out front and I'll give away watermelons or bananas, something that needs to go out pretty quickly. And a lady told me one day, she said, Mike, I teach at the school. And a young man came to school one day, and I knew he didn't have much of a lunch, if ever had anything. And she said, I noticed that you had been giving out fruit. And she said that day, the next day, the kid come to school. I watched him bring a sack lunch, open that sack lunch up, and the only thing he had in there was green apples and grapes. And she said, I know where he got that from. And so those things touch me.
Yeah. Are you surprised or were your eyes open about the true need in your community? I mean, did you think there were that many people who really needed help in your community?
Never really give it any thought. You know, I listen to the coffee drinkers down. Everybody's worried about somebody taking advantage of us. And I've came up with this slogan. I always say I'm not going to allow the greedy to stop me from giving to the needy. It's because, yes, there is some that might take advantage, but there's a whole lot more out there that when I see the tears in their eyes and they hug our necks, I know they're sincere about and the need that goes on. So until somebody gets to be a part of that, they really don't know how it all works out, how much of a reward it is to be able to help somebody and be a part of what the Lord does.
Whenever it comes to the food, how is that brought in? Is that where the food bank steps in and helps to fill the ministry, or what is the connection there?
Without the Wichita Falls Area Food Bank, I don't know how we'd ever do it. I just feel like that's just the key that the Lord has given us to have access, to receive what we have, to be able to distribute out. It does cost us some money on our part, transportation and stuff, but I pour everything I've got into the food bank. The Wichita Falls Area Food Bank is really the hub of this wheel of agencies, and if I can get food in our area donated, we take that, and it just that much less I have to take, because there is a lot of agencies out there, and there's a lot of need out there. Without the Wichita Falls Area Food Bank, God only knows how it would take place.
What do you think whenever you hear about programs like Empty Bowls? I mean, it's the second year, and here you are, you know, in this ministry. It's growing. There's more families obviously needing your help, but you hear about, you know, maybe these individuals over here who are wanting to help. They're wanting to help the food bank grow so they can reach more people. So when you hear about these different events going on in town to raise more money, what does that do for you as someone who sees the benefits of this all?
Well, for me, it's kind of like the lakes that are drying up. To me, if the food bank was drying up, I would see where my resources coming from. And without that, if the food bank and these programs, it's the Empty Bowls and just donations, whatever it all takes place, it's like a domino effect. It will affect us we get to be a part of what everybody's doing. Is they're just sowing seed into the same field, and that's for hunger. You know, we're at Lake Kickapoo and out in our area, people are not available to come to the YMCA, the boys clubs. So it puts us in a little bit different bracket maybe, that they can't just get, only meal they may get is either from the school or through the Harvest Food Ministries, and so and the churches that are on board. But you know, it's important to us that we have this a place to get stuff.
Yeah. Well, I love how you know, are just focused on the need there, and how you mentioned not the greed. You know, I think that's something that can definitely stick with all of us. It's easy to maybe get caught up in that, so it's something we can all focus on. You see, Texoma, how much your support really just keeps on going throughout our community. It's really amazing to see the connection that all of this has together. So thanks again for your time, and we need to take another quick break, but we'll be right back with another look at when and where you can buy those tickets. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we've been talking about Empty Bowls Wichita Falls. The event kicks off this Tuesday at 11 a.m. until 1:30. Want everybody to come out, hungry, come hungry, because you're going to be making a big difference whenever it comes to fighting hunger. And one of the big things, of course, we've been talking about is the bowls. What are you hoping that people remember every time they look at it?
Well, it is a sad fact, but there are people in our community that the question is not, what are we going to eat for dinner? It's, are we going to have dinner? So when I look at my bowl, when I drop my change in, pull my paper clips out, every time I think of that and know that I, through my efforts, are making a difference and making a difference in this area.
As Paula was saying, is the purpose of the Empty Bowl is to be a reminder to all of us of how blessed we are, and also that there are others in our community that don't have a full bowl. And what we have told people that are buying tickets for this event is your $35 is actually going to provide 105 meals for people.
I don't know what else you can make $35 go that far
That's
with.
right.
You know, that's great. Again, $35 this Tuesday. You said you can buy tickets at the door.
You can.
You can also buy them in advance, which you would love, because that's going to let you know how many people are coming.
Correct.
Real quickly, where are those places again?
United Market Street, United on Jacksboro Highway, also the museum, and the food bank as well. Also on our website, emptybowlswf.org.
And you can follow our Facebook page as well.
All right. Well, thank you both for being here today. And as always, we will see you back here next Sunday morning for another look inside Texoma.